My name is Steve-O, the window cleaner, one of the sales reps here at Window Cleaning Resource. Today I'm going to walk you through setting up your brand new Xero Pure and your water fed pole. Here I have the Xero Pure system and the M9 water fed pole. We're going to get better acquainted with this system by going over the filters, going over the RO saturation process, and just the whole setup overall with the water fed pole too. Let's get right into it. There's our Xero Pure system. Here in the box, you're gonna find a bag of accessories as well. Let's just go over this bag real quickly before we set up the system. So first, we have your TDS meter. You're gonna use this to test water from the source and to test water out of the system, just to make sure your TDS levels are correct. You always want between 0 to 10 ppm when cleaning windows to have spotless results. This is your small filter wrench. This will be to take off the housing on here. This will be your DI filter wrench. So this will go on here. You'll twist left to remove it. You'll never use these wrenches when putting the filter back on. They only need to be hand tight. Next is Aladdin Magic Lube. These are going to be used when you replace your filters to lube up any of the O-rings or gaskets that are on the DI cartridge, carbon filter, or the RO membrane where you replace that. That typically does not have to be replaced about every 2 to 3 years, depending on some variables as far as water quality. Always get a lot of questions about this little baggie. This is RO Protect. This is only going to be used if you are winterizing your system and not using it for months at a time. We do have a video that goes over this. That's the winterization of a Xero Pure system. Next in here is your wastewater hose. So wastewater hose, once you get your system, you're going to want to put your wastewater hose right on your wastewater valve. This is your wastewater valve. Boom, just like that. And then when you run this system, you're just gonna put it out to the side like this and let your wastewater run. Very important is that you always have to have your wastewater running when the system is running. Do never run your system without that wastewater going. Next in here is just your overall manual. Make sure to keep this just to reference it over time in case you ever need to get replacement parts or just common troubleshooting as well. For setup, we really don't need much of these products, but the one thing I would open up is just this to test your TDS after we go through the first process of saturating the RO. Make sure to inspect your system just to make sure nothing's wrong. Let us know right away if you do see anything a little bit off. So from here, what we're going to be doing is the first step with this system, which is to saturate the RO membrane. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a normal garden hose. We're going to go into the inlet. We're going to let water travel through the whole entire system for 10 minutes. Then we're going to turn the water off. We're going to put the system away, and then the next day it's good to go. One other tip that's not in the manual that I like to do is to not use any of the DI resin whatsoever. So what I like to do is this releases if you just pull up on this rim. It engages just a little bit and pull out. What this is going to do, it's going to run no water through your DI, so that once you saturate your RO, you get the most out of your DI the next day when you use it. Okay, so here I'm attaching a 5/8 garden hose. It's always very, very important that it is a 5/8 or 3/4 garden hose going into the system. If you've purchased a 3/8 hose, a 3/8 rubber hose with your system, that is always going to be used on the output of the system going to your water fed pole. It's important to get this tight, but you never need to use tools to tighten that. As long as the actual garden hose gasket is in there, you're never going to have a leak once that is tight, ready to go. Okay, I do suggest running these systems laid down just because of their overall stance. In case an employee just pulled a little too hard on a hose or anything, it is good to run the system laying down. I always like to put the hose out there. This hose really doesn't matter. If you want to put it out there, whatever. Okay, we'll go turn the water on. So you kind of hear air going through the system as far as that goes. What you're going to notice first is your wastewater hose is gonna run first. If you see this white stuff come out in the water, that's just air in the line. And what's gonna take just a little bit is to get the water traveling out of your good hose for your RO membrane. So once this process starts, you're gonna run this for 10 minutes and you're gonna close everything back up. So all that white is totally fine. That's just air in the overall system. So we'll let this run for 10 minutes and then we're gonna close it all back up, put the hose back into the elbow fitting here on the DI, and then we're gonna let that sit overnight. And then tomorrow we'll use it through the whole entire system and run water out of the DI. Water has run through the system for 10 minutes. We're gonna turn the water off. We're going to disconnect that hose there. One important rule with these systems is you never want to drain your system. You always want to keep water in the system. So once you've detached this hose at a job and you're going to your next job or you're putting it away for the evening, there's no reason to undo any of these housings or to let the RO let all the water out either. It's important just to keep all the filters wet. DI resin doesn't like to dry out, same with an RO. So to connect this hose again, I just bring it through and I just push. That's all that's needed there. The wastewater will always leak out. We do have brass caps, or you could put some sort of ball valve here. These all are normal garden hose thread fittings. So know that. So if you don't want it to leak, you'll definitely want to cap this off. Okay, now we'll put the system away and bring it back out tomorrow. All right, so you just got your new Xero water fed pole. This is an M9 water fed pole. I just want to go through the components of the box, putting your brush on, and just getting your water fed pole ready while your water fed pole system saturates for the first time. Make sure to go through all little pieces of paper for any extra fittings. I'll kind of go over that as far as that goes. You're gonna have your brush. It's gonna be a hybrid brush, 12-inch with the fast lock, 2 pencil jets. Whoop. And there goes our little base cap rolling away. Alrighty, so here are the components that you're gonna get with every Xero water fed pole. First of all, your hose is gonna be attached to the water fed pole like this with a little bit of tape. We're gonna unravel that tape. First big question I always get are, what are these? We already have our fast lock angle adapter, which is gonna attach our brush, but what do these do? This is an extra attachment for the #1 clamp in case you wanna use other brand brushes, or if you're using an angle adapter like this, which is Euro threaded, and you're using something different like a threaded socket. That's where you'd use this tip here. This tip is an Acme threaded tip. This is very universal for a lot of things, painting accessories, dusting accessories, or even a wood cone adapter if you want to use your water fed pole for a traditional pole with squeegees or washer sleeves. With the Xero M9, this is a 21-foot water fed pole, so you're gonna get about 31 feet of hose. It's always 10 feet longer than the water fed pole. Next, you're gonna ask me, what is this cap? This cap is if you want to install this on the base of your pole, you can. Let me show you how to put that on. You'll wanna go ahead and remove the hose from the water fed pole to put your base cap on. Or you could simply thread it through on the hose to put it all the way on, but I think it's a little bit easier like this. So what you do, you get it on there. Oh no, it's not holding. Ready? Couple good slaps. That thing's not coming off. If you ever need to get it off, put it on like a good edge and do like that, or just grip it really good and take it off like that. Next, the angle adapter here. This is your fast lock. This is going to be your main angle adapter of the system. To move this up to a correct angle, you're just going to untwist it like that. I'd put it just about right there and then twist it back and tighten it up. Okay, that's all taken care of. Now what we're gonna do to make this very easy to get your hose back through the water fed pole, you're just gonna unlatch clamp #1, take out your Xero fast lock adapter, put your hose back through the pole and feed it up towards where you have the brush. Once it's through, you can just pull it back up like it was originally set up. So put it through the fast lock. Just go just like that. So we've done that just to put that base cap on. Hey, once we're here, your brush came like this with these two unattached. You're just going to attach those to there. And to put your brush, I'm going to push down on this little pin here to get it to snap in on the fast lock adapter. Then you can pull this hose a little bit so there's not so much hose there at the top. You just attach that there. So that's going to bring the water to the brush and out these pencil jets here. You can see them inside there. These pieces here, you're not going to need at all. So you can just put those aside in your truck or your working van or whatever you have and just keep them just in case you ever need them, in case you're going to use something else. And then basically this hose, you're going to put this right onto here. And this is going to attach directly to the output of your water-fed pole system or onto your 3/8 hose coming from your system or your hose reel coming from your system. And that is simply how to set up your new Xero water-fed pole once you get it out of the box. Okay, we've let our system sit overnight, so we are now going to run it through the whole entire system and also put the Xero M9 water-fed pole directly onto the system because we've got that set up as well. So we'll put back on this wastewater hose. Put the garden hose on the inlet. Turn the water back on. I didn't do a very good job on putting that wastewater hose on there. Okay, all good to go. All right, so now that we have the system on, the water's now going to be traveling through the bottom of the RO. Now we got our wastewater, and we got the actual elbow that has that black hose on it connecting to the DI. Give it a little bit. It will take just about a few minutes for that water to come through the actual DI housing. To turn on your TDS meter, just push the on button. To test the water, you're just going to fill up this cap, put it right back in. You don't have to press any buttons or anything, and it's going to give you that ppm reading of the water. Remember, anywhere between 0 to 10 ppm is completely acceptable as far as getting spotless results. Anything above 10 ppm, you can start seeing spotting. Okay, we now have flow out of the actual DI of the system. If you would like, you can test the TDS now. So we're just getting 1 ppm. Sometimes I like to let the system run for a little bit, and it's good to also flush out this cap a couple times. Boom, and we're all at zeros. By the way, sometimes when you attach all your hoses and everything going through the brush, for the first couple days, sometimes you can see a little bit higher reading, about 2 to 3 ppm higher, and that's just getting some of the residual minerals out of the hosing. So now that we have water running coming through, we're going to attach our water-fed pole. To do that, I'm actually going to take it off here. I'm going to keep the system running. I'm going to open up the ball valve. The pressure is never too crazy out of these systems. Right now, running at about 5.5 gallons per minute coming from the water source, and it's going to push out right at about half of a gallon per minute. So if you want to put these on while the water's running, it's no problem at all. Just have the ball valve open. Okay, so boom, you got water coming out of there. This hose can be a little bit sticky during the first few uses. As it starts to get a little bit dirty on job sites, it will relax a lot and be a lot easier to kind of manage. So I'm going to turn the water off. I'm going to attach my hose and turn the water back on. And look at that. We got our water coming out of the 2 pencil jets, just like that. Now, to extend your water-fed pole, first, what I would also do, I'd go through and give all these dials a little bit of a tighten. They don't tighten them all the way in the warehouse, just so that you can tighten them to how you like them. I always go back through and give a good about 1/2 to 3/4 turn. Okay. Maybe tighten that one a little too much. From there, can extend it. This pole fully extends to 21 feet. And boom, you're ready to clean some windows with your new Xero Pole system. To collapse the pole, open up the clamps and just bring it down. And that is how you set up your new Xero Pole system along with your Xero water fed pole. If you have any questions, comment below. There's always tons of reps here to help you, including myself, who give us a call, and we're happy to help. Have a good day. Bye-bye.